Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, we're going to be testing out the brand new ColourPop Holiday Vault. I do have all of the eye vaults here to show you guys today. We're going to be doing close-ups, swatches, and I'm going to be doing like a demo where I show you guys how I created this look. So I hope you guys are all excited about today's video. If you are, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, we're going to go through all of the vaults. We're going to do close-ups and swatches of everything, and I'm also going to be giving you guys pricing. So first up, we have the Good For Hue 4-pan eyeshadow palette vault. So this has 6 different 4-pan palettes in it, and the price of this is $49, but at the time that I'm filming this video, it is on sale for $34.30. So here are all 6 of the palettes. First up, we have Cream Soda, and this palette is described as a soft pink glam palette. So we have 2 shimmery shades and 2 matte shades. So here are swatches of the Cream Soda palette. I don't think that the shimmery shades in this palette swatch very nicely, but the mattes did feel very nice and buttery. They have good pigmentation. So yeah, not a fan of the shimmers, but the mattes do look good. Next, we have the Sorbet palette, and this palette has cool toned pinks. I think this color story is definitely prettier than the last one. It's a little bit more interesting. The other one was kind of boring. So here are the shades swatched. Once again, not the biggest fan of the shimmery shades, but the mattes did swatch nicely, and I really like both of those shades. The next palette we have is Peach Please. This one is described as having warm, shimmering peaches. Here are the shades up close. Here are swatches of Peach Please. I feel like all of these swatched pretty good. The shimmers definitely felt better than the ones from the first 2 palettes. So yeah, I don't know if the formula is different with this palette, but the shades definitely swatched better. The next palette we have is Plum and Get It. This palette is described as having rich plums and mauves. I'm surprised that like all of these palettes so far have been like pinky purpley palettes. So yeah, just keep in mind that this set has a lot of pink toned shades. This palette swatched beautifully. These shimmers in here swatched like super nicely, very buttery and soft. Then we have the Hot Chocolate palette. This palette has sultry dark chocolates. So finally we have a palette that's not like pink toned. So there are the shades swatched. I like that this palette has 3 mattes and 1 shimmer. And the last palette in this vault is called Silver Spoon, and this palette is a silver smoky glam palette. Once again, we have 3 mattes and 1 shimmer, which I love. So there are those shades swatched. I love that they included a smoky palette in this vault set. So next up we have the Nude Notes vault. This set has 5 5-pan eyeshadow palettes in it, and the price is $48, but right now it's on sale for $33.60. So here we have all 5 palettes. First up we have Poem. This one says it has a range of taupes with a touch of copper. I actually really like this color story. So here are swatches. I feel like this is probably going to be one of my favorite palettes from the vaults. Next we have the Duet palette. Okay, this palette is also gorgeous. This one is a mix of muted and deep rose golds. So here are the shades. So those swatched very nicely. I do actually really like this color story. I really like a good warm toned palette, so I think this one is super pretty. Next up we have the Rhapsody palette. Okay, wow, this one is also interesting. So this one is a range of gold topped with matte toffee. So there are the shades swatched. I actually love that color story. I feel like it's very interesting. I love the mustardy like tones to these shades. Next we have the Harmony palette. This one is warm nudes with vivid camel and copper shades. This is a very pretty palette. It is kind of basic, but I do like the shades. So there are the shades swatched, a very pretty color story. And the last palette we have in the Nude Notes vault is the Couplet palette. This palette has cool nudes with a dash of bronze and chocolate shades. This palette is a little bit boring to me. So there are the shades swatched. There's nothing wrong with them. I'm just not really like into that type of color story. Next up we have another 5 palette vault. This one is If You Like, and these are also all 5-pan eyeshadow palettes. So this set is the same price as the Nude Notes set. So the first palette is called All Aflutter. This one has pops of peach, rust, and terracotta. I really love shades like this, so I'm sure I'm gonna love this palette. These shades are really, really pretty. I love this center shade right here. Next up we have On a Wing. This palette is a mix of lavender, orchid, and plums. Here are the shades up close. I think this is a really pretty color story. So there are the shades swatched. Honestly, these did not swatch very nicely, which is kind of weird for ColourPop shadows, but I know purples can be hard to make. This next one is the Fly Away palette. This one says it's a range of olives and neutrals. I think this is a pretty palette if you like greens. There are the green shades swatched. Honestly, these didn't swatch very good either, which is kind of weird for me. since I never have trouble swatching ColourPop shadows. The next palette is called Over the Cocoon. This palette is a mix of burgundy, rose, and ruby shades. So here's that palette swatch. I actually do think that the swatches make the palette look a lot prettier than just looking at it like with the shades in the pan. And the last palette in the Hue Like Vault is the Social Butterfly palette. Okay, how fun is this color story? I don't think I have a palette that looks like this. This one is a range of navy, blue, and neutrals. So there are the shades in this palette swatch. I think this is a really pretty color story. So next up, we're gonna be doing swatches of the In the Bare Color Sticks Vault. These are all nude shades, and the price of this is $40, but at the time I'm filming this video, it is on sale for $28. So basically, these are just stick eyeshadows, and as you guys can see, all of the shades are just really pretty nude. So let's go ahead and swatch these. So there are 8 shades in this vault. First, we have Sleepyhead, Sundays, Toss and Turn. Wow, these are very creamy. I'm gonna start showing you guys the shades like this. This one is called Warm Up. Very pretty metallic. Hot Stuff. Check Please. Silk Robe. And Charmed Life. So there are all of the shades swatched. We have a good mix of mattes and metallics. We also have another Color Sticks Vault. This one is called Vibrant Thing, and this one is the same price as the last one, and these shades look so pretty. First up, we have Free Time. I like just smashed this, so this one might not swatch very great. Cool Breeze. That one's a very fun shade. Wow, I like that. Devotion. Hummingbird. Self-Starter. Okay, that one swatched very nicely. Bittersweet. Jump In. That one's also very creamy. And the last shade in this set is called Day Date. So here are all of the shades in the Vibrant Thing Vault. This one is definitely a lot more interesting of a set, obviously, than In the Bare, because these are all pretty much colorful shades, and I think this one is really pretty. And the last ColourPop Vault set I have to show you guys is the It's a Dream set, and these are all super pretty shades of their BFF Cream Gel Liner, which I love the formula of this. The price of this is $40, but it's on sale for $28 right now. I wish I had the like lip sets to show you guys, but I only have the eye sets. Oh, look how pretty these are. I love the formula of this, as I said. I'm so excited to have all of these shades. First up, we have Silver Lake. This will be so pretty in the waterline. Get Lucid. Catsuit. Such a pretty shade. Visuals. Okay, I love that one too. Sub-Zero. Also gorgeous. Wildcat. Sunnyvale. Charmer. DTLA. Wow, that's a very deep blue. Super pretty. It's like a navy. And lastly, we have Swerve. So there are all of the eyeliners in this set. I feel like this is a really good variety of shades. We have metallics, we have mattes, super pretty shades. So now that you guys have seen everything like up close, we've seen swatches, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the demo part of this video where I'm gonna create this eye look for you guys. So I think I'm gonna first go into the Duet palette, and I'm gonna pick up the shade called Vocals. I did go ahead and put down a little bit of primer on the lids just so we have like a nice tacky base, and I'm just gonna kind of put this all along my crease, mapping out the crease. I love doing reverse blending just because I feel like the shades just show up better, and I feel like they blend better too when you start from the darkest shade. All right, so it's gonna start out looking like pretty crazy, but I did forget to mention that this palette is from the Nude Notes Vault. Now I'm gonna take the All Aflutter palette, and this is from the Hue Like Vault, and I'm gonna grab the shade called Wispy, and I'm just gonna start blending this very tightly above the first shade. We're gonna go just a little bit higher than the last shade, but I do still wanna keep this shade pretty low. Now I'm going to grab the Peach Please palette. This palette's from the Good For Hue Vault, and I'm going to take this shade right here. And once again, just going to blend right above the last shade. So here's how we're looking so far. It looks really crazy right now, but I'm gonna take some concealer and a tiny little brush, and I'm just going to cut my crease and just do like the lid shape that I want. I'm like never like super precise about this because you can always like make the shape more precise with the shimmery shades that we're about to put down. So now I'm gonna take this shade from the Cream Soda palette, and we're just gonna put this on the inner corner area, like right on the inner part of the lid. I feel like this shade's a little bit like drier than some of the other shimmery shades in these other palettes. I don't know why the formula seems to be a little inconsistent between these palettes, but it's just something that I've noticed. Going back into the All Aflutter palette, I'm going to take this center shade, and I'm just going to start putting this down the center of the lid. And lastly for the lid, I'm going to take this shade right here from the Peach Please palette, and I'm just going to take this down the outer part of the lid and kind of blend it with that center middle shade. All right, so it's looking like super messy, so I'm gonna go back in with my brush that I used for the like middle shade. I haven't added any more shadow to it, but I like to just run this brush like right along the edges of the shimmery shade just to kind of like carve out the shape a little bit more. Then I'm gonna grab the first shade that I put down, the darkest one, and I'm gonna start just blending this along the outer edge. So the darkest shimmery shade blends in with the outer corner. So now I'm going to take these same shades that I used in my crease, first starting with the darkest shade, and I'm just going to put these all along the lower lash line as well, keeping the darkest shade closest to the lash line. And then I'll just go ahead and start blending the lighter shades right underneath that. Now I'm going to take this shade from the Poem palette, and I'm just going to pop this in the inner corner and a little bit on the brow bone. This is like the perfect kind of highlight shade for this. Very bright, very metallic. I love that. Now I'm going to use an eyeliner from the It's a Dream set. Actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and use two. So first I'm going to take the shade Silver Lake, and I'm going to put this like right on the inner half of the waterline. Such a gorgeous shade. Then I'm going to take Get Lucid, and this one's going to go on the outer half of the lash line. All right, so here is the completed look. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. Some of the shades did kind of swatch inconsistently or didn't feel as good as ColourPop shadows normally do, but on the eyes, I didn't have any issues at all. I didn't have any trouble blending. These shimmery shades went on nicely. There was a little bit of fallout, but nothing too crazy. I think that my favorite Vault set that they sent over would have to be the Nude Note set. I just really liked all of these palettes in here. Just for me, personally, I just liked the color story of these palettes better than the other shadow vaults. I'm also like really big into nude or like, I don't know, just everyday type eyeshadow palettes. I think that's why I really like this set. I also think that If You Like Vault is a good set as well. My favorite palette out of this set is this first one right here called All Aflutter that I used. The rest of them are just like okay as far as color stories go. The only one that actually kind of excites me besides the first one I just talked about is this blue one. I'm not really big into green, and then the purple palette didn't really swatch the best, but I definitely think that these 5-pan palette vaults are a better value and just better in general than the 4-pan palette vault, which is the Good For Hue Vault. I haven't ever really been into the 4-pan ColourPop eyeshadow palettes. I just feel like I don't have enough in these palettes to create a full look. I do like that they included like a smoky palette in here, but I feel like the rest of these color stories are just kind of, I don't know, similar or nothing special, so that's why I would probably skip these. As far as the Color Sticks vaults go, I think that the shades in both of these are gorgeous. I really liked both of these sets as far as the shades go. So my issue with these sets is that I never use a product like this. That's why I didn't use it today. I just never really use like a shadow stick or anything like that. And then I actually really loved the It's a Dream liner set. I think this is a really good vault that they came out with this year. It has so many good shades. There's an amazing variety of colors in here, and the formula of their eyeliner is so good. This one is probably one of my favorite vaults. So those are all of the ColourPop holiday vaults that we're going to be talking about in today's video. Let me know what you guys think about these vaults in the comments down below. Are you guys going to pick any of these up? So I hope this video was helpful for you guys. If it was, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, make sure you have your notifications turned on. That way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. All you have to do is click the bell next to the subscribe button, and then you'll receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.